Today in math class, we talked about the coordinate plane and coordinate pairs. We took notes on what the coordinate plane was, and I'm going to draw you a coordinate plane right now. The coordinate plane looks like a very large L. So if you go down vertically and then across horizontally, you have what's called the coordinate plane. And I'm going to label that coordinate plane right now, since it goes with your vocabulary. This is the coordinate plane. Okay? The coordinate plane is made up of two different axes. And we have the x-axis and the y-axis. So if you look over here, we have our x-axis. Okay? And up here we have our y-axis. Okay? Normally it's just labeled X and Y, but in this case I'm going to label it X-axis and Y-axis. We also have what's called down here as the origin. It is 0. Okay? It starts 0 on both sides. So we have what is called the origin. Origin is where you start. We always start at 0. Okay, it's 0 on the top and 0 on the bottom. 0 on the x-axis, 0 on the y-axis. So that is your origin. Now, we do need intervals, and in this case, I'm just going to do intervals of 10. Okay, so let's start on the x-axis because we always start on the x-axis. X comes before y in the alphabet. We always start on the x-axis. So I'm just going to go up to 10, and I'm going to skip through my lines here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and we label this all the way up to 10, and I'm doing intervals of 1 so that you can see clearly what we're doing. So my x-axis right now is labeled all the way to 10. Now I'm going to label my y-axis much the same way I just labeled the x-axis, and I'm going to go all the way up to 10. Now usually when you do this, you have graph paper, so you have the lines on your graph going both vertical and horizontally. In this case, I do not have the graph paper on here. Graph paper does make it easier to follow the lines and follow the dots. Okay, I can make graph paper if I'd like to. I would need my ruler in order to do so. So if I grab my ruler, sometimes this makes it hard to see and sometimes it makes it easier to see. So it really depends on who you are. I would grab my ruler and I would just go straight up. Hang on, my marker is stuck. I would just go straight up this way and then straight up this way, all the way down to 10. So if you want to make yours like this, I suggest using a ruler. It's the easiest way to make straight lines all the way down to 10. And when I'm finished doing this all the way down to 10, I then go across the other way, go across the y-axis. So this is the x-axis. And then I go across the y-axis this way. And now it's hard because when you are on this, it'll erase, but if you're doing it in your notebook, you should be okay. One more to go. Okay, mine are kind of straight. They're as straight as they're going to be for right now. As you can see, I have, this is quadrant 1. I have my x-axis labeled, I have my y-axis labeled, and that's when I can start to use what's called an ordered pair. An ordered pair looks just like this. I put it in parentheses. The x goes first and the y goes second. X to the right, and I'm going to say this a lot, x to the right, y to the sky. And I'll show you what that means in just a second. But this is what's called an ordered pair. That's your vocabulary word, ordered pair. X to the right, y to the sky. So, I'm going to give you an example of an ordered pair, and we find it on our coordinate plane. So my ordered pair, I'm going to give it the label A, and in parentheses, I put my x first, 2, and I put my y second. X to the right, y to the sky. In this case, my ordered pair is going to be 2, 3. And let me move you just a little bit. 2, 3. So we go x to the right, y to the sky. We start at origin, and I'm going to go over to the right 2. X to the right. 1, 2. So I'm there right now. And then I go y to the sky. So this goes up, that goes over. So I go up 3. So I'm here, I go 1, 2, 3. It's almost like playing Battleship. Okay? If you've ever played Battleship, this is how you play Battleship. They give you coordinate pairs, and you have to figure out if your ship is there. So this coordinate pair is 2, 3, also known as A. That is my label for A, 2, 3. Let me give you another coordinate pair, and we'll call this coordinate pair B. B's coordinate pair is going to equal 5, 8. So in this case, we go x to the right, y to the sky. If I remember that, I'll remember that x goes to the right and y goes up. So I go to the right 5. I'm going to use a different color just so you can see me. I'm going to go to the right 5. Start at 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my x to the right. Now we go up 8. Y to the sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my point is here. And this point will be B, also known as 5, 8. Now when you're doing this, you don't actually put your dots there. Okay? I'm just showing you how to do it by putting dots down. Okay? We will do one more ordered pair, and I'm going to label this one C. My C ordered pair is going to be, let's go with 9, 0. X to the right, y to the sky. So in this case, I'm looking for 9. So I go over to 9, and I'm here. There's my 9. Now it says I go up 0, which means that you don't go up at all. So 9, 0 would actually be right here. And that's point C, and it would be 9, 0 are your coordinate pairs. You label it on the graph just like that, and you can see all of my coordinate pairs. Now remember I said that the origin also has ordered pairs, and at the origin it is 0, 0. We go to the right and then up to the sky. So x to the right, y to the sky. So if I go x to the right, y to the sky, if I go 0, 0, the origin ordered pair is 0, 0. Okay? You should be able to follow these directions or something similar to these directions to help you with your homework tonight. Sometimes when you do them in pencil, you can find your ordered pair. So 2, 3. If I find 2 first, and then I go up my line and over my line, where those two lines meet is going to be where your ordered pair is. The only thing you need to remember is x to the right, y to the sky. X comes before y, so make sure x goes first. X to the right, Y to the sky.